What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and we are here today back in 7 Deadly Sins because I have to do a lovely little review, and I'm going to do a Valenti, and I've got to do a couple of the Merlin summons for the little tickets, and finish off her banner because I think because of the mistake that's been happening with the girl, her banner, and all that good stuff, is that we're going to be getting some type of thing. I think it should actually be already in my box, which is here. Thank you. Is it the maintenance? No, it's not maintenance. Where is it? Not that. Where is it? Not that. Oh, I misread it. Oh. So you only get 30 crystal diamonds if you happen to do the step up 10. I didn't actually do the step up 10, so I don't get anything. Whatever. Let's keep it all in good spirits, because right now we're gonna just look at what she actually does in a whole. Now, of course, a couple of videos have popped up showing her, showcasing her, showing what's actually good about her. I want to break it down a little bit deeper, because that's just what I like to do. Duh. HP look kind of high. Let's go deeper. Pierce rate 20%. Resistance 21%, pretty good. Crit resistance 42%. Like I said, I want to know if growth is who's higher, her or growth. And crit defense 41%. That's pretty good. So it's gonna be a hard time critting her, and it's going to be if she actually gets crit, she has a decent amount of defense against it, and she also has resistance, which all reduces damage as well. Now, I mentioned this if you guys checked out my Guild Thunder guide, is because Guild Thunder is a tank. He's meant to pretty much tank. Now, these in 7 Deadly Sins, it's not as obvious who is a tank, who is a support. You kind of have to determine that yourself. Even though it says attribute HP here, you know, Guild Thunder is fire, and he's strength, but he's actually more utilized as a tank. So all in all, she's pretty tanky on base, and she is normally used as some type of tank or support unit. Not necessarily a tank, she has nothing to taunt to. I consider a tank someone that can draw fire into them. I think that's what a tank is. She's, in my opinion, more of a support. Now let's go into the lovely skills. We can preview. Yes, because we have the character this time around. We did get her before we got to the pity. So we actually, what was the last time I was actually able to do a preview? Jesus Christ. There is a class of this. Second law of motion. Now she has a single target attack here, and it defense breaks. And not actually, sorry, in this game it's not defense break. Reduces the defense related stats. Now, as you can see here, it does not go up in damage from the second one. It only goes up in damage once you get to rank 3. That's a decent amount. That's 120% boost. And it also goes into 2 turns. So here's 20, here's 30, and then it goes up to 2 turns, and it's also 40. It's just, I just like to look at the gold. Oh, you know what's cool? If I actually had the sound on. There we go. Her design in general, I think, is really good. I think it's really, really cool to have like her. She's like manipulating the arms that are next to her. I think her design is really cool. Now, if you guys don't remember, I'm gonna say it again because I can't expect everyone to watch one video because I'm not, you know, super popular. Even the people that are popular know that not everyone watches that one video that they release. Now, defense-related stats are going to be those stats that we just glanced over slightly before, which is going to be defense. It's going to be your resistance. It is going to be your crit defense and also your crit resistance. So when you're doing this to a character, it is making them extremely vulnerable to pretty much a lot of damage. They're very vulnerable to a lot of damage. She does it single targetly. That's why I said Benimaru is really good, because he does it in AoE. And he also does an attack. Keep in mind that when it's an attack, a debuff attack, it has to do damage in order for it to land the actual debuff. So if there is a shield or any sort of thing, it's not going to land. So she might have trouble if you have any type of ordering skills, or you have to order your skills, have one of your maybe DPS units first, because she's not going to have that much damage herself. She needs to have someone else with DPS, break a shield or something of that nature, and then she can land the debuff. So keep that in mind. Also, as you can see here, this first skill is all debuff. So if you get caught with a skill that takes away debuff, she doesn't have the safety of this skill right here, which is attack all enemies on the base Genesis. So you can get that off. But also, as you guys know, not that many people run disable this debuff skills. There are some skills that do that, but usually right now it's attack break. So she has a way, she's gonna get most of her attacks off because most people just run attack break. Now this one, as you can see, the first part is an AoE attack, Genesis, and then if you rank it up even at least once, as you can see again, the damage does not go up, keep that in mind, but you're definitely, this one is different, you're definitely going to combine the cards, because at this point, it's an AoE attack related stats by 20%, and it's 2 turns at that. Now, what's really good, boom, now the attack related stats. And now they're showing patience because they're just trying to showcase to you that I do like that this game has a slight simulator here. Boom, and then look, you're not strong enough to hurt me. Attack related stats goes as follows: attack, crit chance, crit damage, and what is that last thing? Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Pierce rate. Oh my god, I couldn't think of it. I was like, this is, it affects all that. So what's really crazy about this character is that just with her kit alone, she's gonna enable people to do more damage, and then she's going to take the highest priority damage target and make sure that that target does not do damage. And that's really strong because then they can't land debuffs, they can't get kills, you know, which is the whole part of PvP. This is a very PvP oriented game. And last but not least is her ult, the Maxwell's Goblin. Inflicts rupture damage equal to 630. Who cares? Rupture damage is when they're buff. And now, which is really good, is because buff, Gother has buff when he rank 3s, rank skill up, you know, Envisionado, Arthur, and most importantly, I think the most popular one is Merlin. I think Merlin is the biggest perpetrator when it comes down to a character giving out a buff. Now other characters have other buffs, of course, you know, Galen, you don't see them that much, but he gives himself a buff, and when that happens, Rupture is really good. What's really good about her Rupture is that it's a single target nuke. All the buffs that come in the game pretty much that are out there right now is usually bringing some type of defense buff, which is going to boost the defense, making them take less damage, and then also a barrier, which is making them take less damage. So this nuke is allowing her to pretty much snipe out a target, which is awesome. And as you can see, there's no animation at all, or maybe it's just because I always forget to click that button. Do it now! Gang signs. Should I let him have it? Oh, the red eyes. Yo, I see him with that buff. Should I let him have it though? Should I hit him with the duff? I like it, I like it. No, I didn't forget about the passive people. As you guys have already probably seen, Blue Demon Meliodas has been running rampant out there, and that's where her passive kind of kicks in, which kind of feels, I feel like a little disingenuous, is that they released a character, you know, the character what had a week, I think a week to breathe, a week to do wreckage on the ladder. Ingenious strategy: decreases all enemies' pierce rate by a value of the hero's resistance at the start of the battle. Applies when entering the battle. So she is a character that, unlike other characters like Lilia, she has to be in the fight. She just takes a lot of damage out of the enemy team, which is awesome. For those people that do not know, pierce rate, a value which deals fixed damage equal to a portion of the damage dealt. So let's say you're going to do, the way that I read it, and pretty much the way that people explain it, is that like it's another piece of damage. Like if you're gonna do 1,000 damage, pierce rate is just gonna add an extra 100 or something like that. It's a fixed rate, and like how it says 20%, you know, if I do 1,000, I think that's 20 or I should just do 50 so I don't have to do the math. If it's 1,000, it's gonna tack on 50. Oh my lord, it's gonna tack on 500 damage. I can't talk right now. I'm too bad. Like 1,000, another one would be 200. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. So what this would do, if you're reducing their pierce rate, you can just have it that the damage, let's say if you were to mitigate it entirely, then boom, that is just doing regular old damage. That's why when you look at characters like, here's one of the pierce rate guys. Obviously I don't have Demon Melee, but I can show you the Hauser because, you know, it's easier to show you his skill here. It triples the pierce rate, right? Now it doesn't give them a flat pierce rate. This is why these characters are getting screwed right now. It doesn't give them a flat amount of pierce rate, it just triples it. So if you were to reduce their pierce rate to 0, you know, 3 times 0 is nothing. See, there is some math that I can do. Don't when it comes to percentages, I might not be good, but there is some math that I can do. Please have faith in me. So when you see a passive like this, that you decrease all enemies pierce rate, which is a flat decrease, right? Like I said, by the value of this hero's resistance at the start of the battle. Like as you saw, if you've been looking, like I said, I watched Kabuki, he's put her resistance up into the hundreds, you know? So good luck. He's doing that because resistance is already good. As I showed you guys or talked in other videos, is that resistance is just mitigating damage as a whole. It's the same thing as pierce. It's like the defensive version of pierce rate. It just mitigates a portion of damage in general. So if you're taking 1,000 and you have like 50 resistance, just to, you know, try to put it on the same playing field, you're only going to take like 500 damage or something like that nature. So yeah, that's kind of what it does. Not only is she making herself tanky, she's already, just by being in the presence, protecting herself and protecting the allies as well by lowering the pierce rate of characters. And everyone knows that, you know, a lot of the DPS base units here, let me just go over to Escanor, who for some reason never wants to come home. Maybe because he knows I don't like him. He has 80 he has 80% pierce rate on base, okay? So he is doing a lot of damage. You ever wonder why you died to him? That's the reason why. That's why Kabuki and other people are bringing his Valenti's pierce rate above 100, because now that's his base. That means people can even get a little bit more just because of their gear. Now, of course, you can kill her and take her passive out. All Unique's passive works like that. If you have a really pesky passive that's out there, kill the character that's projecting it and it will go away. So you have to somewhat snipe her, but at the same time, you guys know that she's not the DPS unit. He's literally sitting there to be a pest. Equipment. Now, when it comes down to equipment, yes, of course, you know, let me just go to exchange. I'm just gonna go to my boy. Guild Thunder I have here. I don't know if I switched him over. Yes, I have. Right. So I actually switched him over to a pure HP build. Now, Valenti's a little bit different as far as this. I do think that having her with HP is a little bit different because she will be focused. But the difference is that Guild Thunder has a buff when he does his, I can actually check it here. When he does his taunt, right, he also gives himself a decreased damage thing. So he has a high chance of actually trigger a patience, which is that he didn't take enough damage, that, you know, you're not going to take any damage at all. Now she's going to need a little bit more HP. So for her, instead, I actually would go back to what I used to have him on, which is an HP defense set. But you could also do what I'm doing here, which is a pure defense set. And the reason why I did that is because, like I said, defense, a value which decreases damage taken when attacked in general. The whole purpose of keeping the character alive. If you can bring the damage down, that's why I like the triple defense over HP defense, because you can bring them that they're not taking damage at all. It doesn't, if I have 100 HP but you can't do damage to me, it doesn't matter. I hope that makes sense. That's why I say that all the time, is that, you know, your HP is not as important as how much damage you're mitigating. Now there are things that ignore defense. There's characters that do that and then that will one-shot her. And that's why you kind of don't want to do that heavy. That's how HP counters stuff like that. Now there is characters like King that ignore resistance, which would destroy her. You know, that's why Green King probably should be coming out more often now. Blue King has a type disadvantage, so you kind of might not want to do that. But you need these characters that have ignore resistance, that have ignore defense, that can deal with her and take her out as quick as possible. People actually have to use their fucking brains and kill her, because people are not willing to build other units that can probably deal with her very easily, probably even take her out within the first turn. So that decision is going to be on you. Do you want to stack her HP out, because look how much damage they can take, or do you want to try to decrease the amount of damage they take in general, especially if you're running her with Merlin when she has a shield? They might not be able to break the shield at all, which again is going to allow you not to be debuffed, not stunned, not petrified, none of that. You know, none of that can land on you. The only thing that can land on you debuff wise are debuffs that do not do damage, like green bonds, nunchaku bonds, extort, and things of that nature. So that's up to you. You can also run, obviously, this slot here is where you can do the resistance. Let me show you guys that too. Here I can get the defense proc. On the middle ones, the second slots, when you're re-rolling the stats, you can get defense, resistance, crit defense. I think crit resistance and crit defense are terrible. It's better to build one, especially for a tank. You can say for a DPS, you might want to build attack, crit chance, crit damage. But for a tank, you want to kind of focus on making him him or her, you know, I'm not saying anything. You want to make sure that you are pretty much making sure you got that very strong defense. You know exactly what that tank is there to counter. Team comp time. All right, so we're gonna be using slime the slime to represent Lilia. Don't blame me, okay? But I would think that this is kind of like a nice, decent setup. Now you could put whatever that empty slot is. I think that this is the more very defensive slot. What's really cool is that Merlin is actually a DPS unit. She's actually a DPS unit. She gets a barrier based off her attack, and she has, you know, decent attack. You're gonna build her attack because of that reason. Her S1, her basic attack, is taking off ultimate orbs, which is good, really, in the whole meta of how this game works, about people just ulting as soon as they can. That is also stopped, by the way. I wanted to bring that in. You can't remove ultimate orbs if you do no damage, so that is another thing that this combo can stop. Now this also is pretty 2 greens, and it's actually triple green, but you know, this will do really good against the blue demon. But eventually, Blue Demon Meliodas is going to tag out like it's a wrestling match, and you're not going to see him as often, right? Or you're going to start seeing people do more mono red. I haven't seen that much mono red, or a version of mono red you're going to see. So I've seen people right now, they're using Gother in this slot, you know, so they can rank up the skills and make it like hurt a lot more. I've seen Guild Thunder in the slot as well. But I do think you can even run, maybe even greedy. You can maybe run DPS, because this is all about mitigating damage. So they're not doing damage, so you have to take advantage of that situation and deal damage to them. So any single target or character that after these two do whatever they gotta do, I think that that's good. I also think that, where is it? I don't feel like people are talking about this man. Where is he? Putting Arthur in that slot because he has another buff as well. But more importantly, Arthur will counter out the blue kings out there. Or it doesn't have to be necessarily Arthur, but anyone that disables recovery skills would be really good. So you can pretty much do a lot, and then the blue king on the other side can't cleanse any of the debuffs, because Valenti is pretty much putting out the debuffs that's allowing a lot of the shenanigans to go on. If they do buff, guess what? Valenti should be able to snipe them if you build her up that way. Hope that this was informational, and also if there's any other teams or comps that you guys, or gear sets that you guys are running, please let me know. I would even, hey, if you want to go mono green, you can even bring in this guy in there too. Just go debuff heavy. But like I said, if there's no one to stop recovery skills and there's blue king on the other side, he's just gonna cleanse that. Or even if there is Elizabeth, green Elizabeth, or anyone that cleanses the buff. So always, I feel like you should always have someone. If you're running something debuff oriented, you have to have someone that can prevent the debuffs from being cleansed. That should be a given. Woo! I like talking about some characters, boy. Let's just do these 2 summons because she is coming up next. I have to do her guide next, and I still do not know what she does. So, ooh. All right, we got an SSR in the building. 1 trigger, as I've mentioned before, so only one thing is going to be happening here. Cancel out of deaths. And as I said, only 1. Oh, got some gold coins in there too. I'm tapping too fast. There it is. And that is Green Merlin. No, it's her. It's actually her. Wait, do they wear the same outfit? Because I remember before people were like, that's Green Merlin. No, you're showing Blue Merlin. Oh, you know what? No, Green Merlin actually, I think, starts off with like the scientific thing on her. So we have the Blue Merlin. Should I check what she does? Should I sneak? Should I sneak peek myself? I'm gonna sneak peek myself. So we already got the character. So what's cool and awesome about this is that I already got the character in the summon. And this is a dub, 100%. Anywho, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And just remember that every day at the casino is your lucky day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.